It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Henry Cavill, the beautiful, blue-eyed, square-jawed man who took up the mantle of Superman in Man of Steel and the subsequent DC films. He starred as the main antagonist in Mission Impossible Fallout, and he stars as monster hunter Geralt of Rivia in the Netflix series The Witcher. When you're looking for someone to play the latest incarnation of Superman, one of the most apple pie American superheroes of all time, where do you look? Why, jolly old England, of course.
Cheers.
As a young teenager growing up in the UK, Henry got his start in a variety of British projects, his first mainstream film being The Count of Monte Cristo, in which he played Albert Mondego, a bright-eyed young man who's kidnapped and unwittingly becomes part of an elaborate revenge plot.
Do your worst.
But Henry didn't stay innocent for long. Several of his early characters were pretty unlikable, like a boarding school prefect who's definitely hiding a bunch of shady in an episode of the crime drama The Inspector Linley Mysteries.
Haven't you heard of knocking, Pritchard?
Or this ass who thinks nothing of pushing an old man around in an episode of Midsummer Murders.
I will drive straight over you.
Even his first American character in Hellraiser Hellworld was a schmuck.
This is where the hits the fan, guys.
He was just that guy in a horror movie who you really wouldn't mind seeing impaled on a meat hook.
This is just the beginning.
Fun fact, apparently while shooting this scene, the crew went to lunch and totally forgot to take Henry down off the harness. Then, after some bit parts in Tristan and Isolde and Stardust, Henry got a major break when he was cast as Charles Brandon, longtime friend of King Henry VIII in the historical drama series The Tudors.
I need someone I can trust. You trust me with a beautiful woman?
With my sister? Of course I trust you.
At first kind of an immature playboy, Charles eventually took his role in the monarchy more seriously and grew more and more uncomfortable with King Henry's questionable decisions as a ruler. As the 2010s began, Henry fell comfortably into leading man roles in a couple action movies, but behind him he left a wake of barely missed roles. He turned down a role in 300 because he was holding out for the role of James Bond, which eventually went to Daniel Craig, and he lost jobs twice to Robert Pattinson, Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and Edward Cullen in Twilight. He was even in the running for Superman back in the early 2000s, before it eventually went to Brandon Routh in Superman Returns. Well, no worries, because Man of Steel came along and Henry put his own stamp on the iconic superhero in 2 more subsequent DC films. The only downside, we'll probably never get to see a complete alternate cut of the film with Superman's debonair mustache, which was featured heavily on Henry's face when he played the villain in Mission Impossible Fallout.
The deal was simple. I help you frame hunt. You give me the plutonium.
And most recently, Henry nailed the lead role of Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher. It's fair to say that he was more than excited to play Geralt, having been particularly drawn to the character after playing the video games. And of course, with the role came a rigorous new exercise routine that was specifically tailored to help Henry endure the countless hours of sword fighting and monster hunting. Henry Cavill has done plenty of great work to establish himself as one of Hollywood's most capable leading men. He may try to disguise himself in interviews and press junkets and Boss eyewear commercials as just a mild-mannered guy. But when you take those glasses off of him and put him in a movie, he has powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men.